All right, guys, Warriors, Dominick Izzo. It is Monday night, a little bit after 5 o'clock, and I'm going to take an opportunity. I want to talk about the events of one unbelievable roller coaster day, something that's going on. I posted not too long ago an extremely controversial post, which is offending everybody, but if anything, I want you guys to think about it. I truly, truly do. You know, I've been in and out of law enforcement since 2001. I've admitted it all the time. I'm a problem child. I'm an idealist. I always think about the true nature of law enforcement. I didn't take this job for a paycheck. I took this job to complete me. I truly believe that the greatest aspect of being a cop is to be able to better yourself as a human being. Period. That's the only reason anybody should ever want to be a cop. Because the more you help other people, the more you're able to help who you are grow. And we have to give back. You know, community, we have to be a part of them. That said, a lot of people were pissed off and offended and did not understand and comprehend what the hell I was saying in my last post. One of my posts earlier today was I sat there and I dwelled on the fact that I have part of a point system in my department, and I disagree with it to the nth degree. When you have three different types of officers. You got the new officers, you got the middle officers like me, and the guys who are getting ready to retire at the end. The guys who are getting ready to retire at the end, they take their times to calls. They milk stuff, as we call it. They're there for the paycheck. They're riding out a couple years. They're a wealth of experience, but they know better. The new guys, they're hot and gung-ho right off the bat. And I was. And when I came back at 37, 38, I was almost like a 40-year-old rookie all over again. So I was one of those new guys who had at it all the time, and I was arresting everything left and right. I knocked down more DUIs than my department had in 9 months than they had in 10 years with all their officers together. And I see how many more cops we've had killed in the last couple of days. How many more cops we've had killed in the last couple of days. And the bullshit of it is I took the blame on us and I said that it's our fault. It's our fault as officers. And things that I want to address when I look at that post is, when I wrote that post, I thought of Blake Snyder. And I thought, how the hell could I ever look at his wife's face and say, we're at fault for your husband's death, for your husband being killed? And I thought of it more. And I thought, in some ripple of the pond way, all the arrests I did for bullshit little baggies of weed, for somebody, driving over the little yellow line, and then I went in their car, I smelled cannabis, and I took a weed out, and the Hispanic male who doesn't have a valid driver's license, or he has a suspended driver's license, but he's got 5 kids to feed, and the only way he can get to work was to drive for that day. And I arrest him, court costs, court fines, tows his car, and I understand it's his fault. I understand it's the kid's fault who's got weed on him, all that stuff. But when you pressure and pressure and pressure and pressure these kids, these people, with these petty crimes that we have discretion over, it's like beating a dog. We're not government-paid revenue generators. And I was thinking about how many times I wanted stats. I wanted to prove to my department what I'm capable of doing. And when you put together a point system, you have what happens like in my department, where you get an officer who's brand new and he's not accumulating his points, so he pulls someone over, and there's a friggin' little pill in the car, and that person gets arrested. And it's legal. It's 100% legal. It's a controlled substance. It wasn't her pill, but that person's now got a felony on their record. I can't live with that. I can't live with that in a day and age where I live like a king. I'm at one of the poorest paid departments out in my county, but I live like a king compared to these people who daily don't have a pot to piss in. They don't have any money. So many of them don't have jobs. They're all crammed 6, 7, 8 into a 2-bedroom house. This is not my job. This is not the job I signed up for. And I've been begging and pleading my department for months on Can we get education? Can we get training? How else can we solve this? Do we really want to arrest a drunk that's walking down in the middle of the road at 2 o'clock in the morning when the state statute says we can't? And I'm so fed up with this. And I told you my time in law enforcement is very, very, very nearing the end. So when you're not heard, sometimes you got to demand that you're being heard. So when you have part of the problem and you can be part of the solution, I chose to do what in my heart I think is right. For every one of you out there, every one of you cops who goes out there and because of something I did in my last 16 years by arresting someone with heroin who probably had such a drug problem they didn't know what they were going to do, and jail and fines aren't going to be the answer, and if the court is only going to chew them up and spit them out, then why aren't we getting them help? Why aren't we? Why are we doing this opioid initiative now in our county, but for years it's been arrest, 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 arrest. We've beaten the shit out of these people and fined them, and now you want to help people. Now these higher ups in our government are saying, no, we want people to come to you, the cops in the uniforms, who've you screwed over for years, and turn in their drugs and say, I will help you. Good luck with that. I didn't sign up for this job, swear this oath, and go to a town where I see people who have so far less than I do to harass these people, to stomp on their rights, to stop them at 2 o'clock in the morning if they're a gang member just to see where they're going, because there's not a fucking thing for them to do in that town other than walk around and clear their minds. So I demanded my chief's resignation today. I wrote down a very long list of reasons that unprofessionally I feel he's failing as a leader, as a police chief. And I can guarantee you this will be the end of my career. But understand something. I will fight until the day I'm dead for every patrol officer out there. Every patrol officer who does a job infinitely better than I do. And for all of you who are in my area who've never taken me seriously, Izzo's a joke, he's branding himself, he's trying to get attention. This is all done for you guys. For us. I have loved this job since I've taken it, but I've disagreed with the way that this has gone. And if we want change in this country, it has to start with us. We are public servants, not public punisher officers. Not revenue generators. And I can't sit by a second longer while new officers who receive no education are allowed to go out in the street and do unethical and immoral things while command staff justifies it by saying it's legal. So that's it. To clarify my last statement, if you don't understand the nature of law enforcement, how we have beaten these people over the years over and over and over again, and taken their money and not helped them and sent them to court, then I'm not doing this anymore. I will gladly accept being terminated because my ideal of a law enforcement officer is being there when people need us. Not stirring the pot when it's unwarranted because of a point system just to keep me off a midnight shift because I bidded for days, and that's the way for keeping me under the thumb for discipline. So that's it. I demanded my chief's resignation today. I refuse to work for someone whose thumb is not on the pulse of what the people in my town who don't have a pot to piss in depend on us as officers to do. That's it. A lot more coming, guys. I've done this for you. I told you, my time in law enforcement is very, very at its end rope. But I'm going out my way, and it's as a service to the people that I love more than anything in the world. So I will always be there to serve, and I will always, always, always be there for these unbelievable men and women who can't speak the truth because of their command staff out there. So for every one of you who thinks I'm out there for myself, branding, narcissism, all this, or how I take the blame of myself, this is how this code of silence works. This is how this blue line works, this blue wall works, is everybody doesn't want to sit there and call out the cops are out there because the damn command staff will just turn the other way. And they'll label you the problem like they labeled me the problem. I'll own my shit any day of the week. I'm the biggest mouth cop out there, and I'm damn well proud of it. So that's it, guys. I'll see you on the next video. We'll take this a different direction. But know what? Every cop out there, man, I have got your back.